welcome to Shrinking with Kerry, the channel where I try to lose weight faster than my marbles. It's a close race. The thing about losing your marbles is it's so much easier than losing weight because you don't crave sanity when you cut back on it. Well, if you recall last week, I knew I had my monthly because the factory has not shut down fully yet, but I suspected I might lose about 3 pounds if I did everything right and everything flushed out of me. And after I posted that video, I said, I shouldn't fortune tell because you never know. But without further ado, bing, I lost 3 pounds. I was right on the money. But I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to say, even if I stay the same, I'm doing everything right. But it is true. I can't say that I deserve an award for doing anything colossal. If you give me one, I'll take it. I'll put my P.O. box below if you want to send me an award. You can even draw it yourself. Just spell my name right. It's K-E-R-R-Y. Kerry is a different name that involves the pig's blood and all of that, which I might have if I go to Houston and my invite turns out to be a joke. So yeah, everything, flushed out as naturally it would, but I don't think that I'm diminishing what I've accomplished because it took an effort, even though some of it was nature, and a natural weight loss. I could have easily not lost anything because I didn't gain before I got my monthly. And I don't like having a week where I don't lose any weight, but I go for 2 pounds. That's natural at my age, and I understand I'm going to plateau at some point. This is a long, long journey. And to give you an idea of the kind of patience it requires, I've seen much lower numbers on the scale. I remember feeling much worse about myself and seeing 177 on the scale. I'd love to be that now, but I will. It can't be this insurmountable thing. And I'll tell you what, I can't lose weight for vanity. I can't. It doesn't sustain itself with me. I think it's my brother used to say, you can lie about what you eat, you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to diabetes. And those numbers are the numbers that keep me honest. It's not even the weigh-ins, the weekly weigh-ins. It's knowing that it's for my life. I start out each day with stretching and checking those numbers. And to see those numbers go down is amazing. And that's where I want to stay. And I know it's time for me to show body pictures. That's really hard for me because I did take a bunch of before. I turned all the way around and took all these pictures. And now I'm going to take more this week. I'm not going to look at myself too much. That's hard for me to do, especially when I have so far to go. I can find it discouraging, but I can tell you my clothes are getting bigger. And I say it that way because in my mind, that's what I think is happening. I actually have a part of me that doesn't realize I can shrink, especially when I don't see it so much. But here's the thing. I don't mind showing you this. My middle, whereas my big problem area, is now smaller than my shoulders. Excuse me, I'm braless. But I'm starting to see, a little bit of my curves again. I'm not just a blob that comes out farther than my shoulders. I mean, definitely I come from sturdy peasant stock, but even when I weigh myself, my pants are falling down. So I've had victories in the way that my clothes fit. And I remembered this when I had lost 59 pounds. What happens is you can get discouraged because you're shrinking, and that's why I call it shrinking, because you have to recognize that as you shrink, your shape is the same. At first, it's the same, it's just shrunken. So yes, I still have a fat face. I'm gonna have a fat face for a while, but it is thinner. You start to see a little bit of your cheekbones again. And yes, I have this under the jaw problem. Maybe someday down the road I'll contend with that, with going under the knife if I'm so lucky. But I remind myself that it is, there is a fat face, but it is a shrunken. Even though it's in the same shape, it has shrunk. And you see it, I see it in my middle. If I had to get on the plane today, yes, I would still be a fat person sitting next to somebody, but I wouldn't be sitting on them. And I did pay for a bigger seat for my trip to Houston because that's almost harder for me than my fear of flying, is having somebody in such close proximity to me. I'm really weird about that. Being in someone's space, having them in my space, I'm going to scrub myself so I smell good, you know what I mean? But not wear too much perfume. But I just feel very aware of how much someone's in my space. And I'm getting better about that. I went, this is a total aside, because you know I do this after I start talking about weight loss, I just start talking about life and stories, and I hope you don't mind. Skip ahead if you do. But when I was in Canada with my son, we were filming in Vancouver, and he wanted to go see movies with his friends. So I went by myself to see a movie, Horrible Bosses, which I just went because that was all that was showing. And I love Jason Bateman. You know I met him. You know I watched Arrested Development with him. Okay, hold on. Let me bend over and get that name I just dropped. But anyway, nicest guy. So I'm sitting there by myself, and three seats away is a family and on the end is a handsome young man, and he's like, "Come sit over here." I'm like, "What?" Like, I thought I was invisible. I'm like, "Oh, I'm American." Don't like you. No, I'm just kidding. I was really weirded out, and I knew it was friendliness. I knew it wasn't anything inappropriate. He's like, "No, you're by yourself. Come sit over here." And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I was so uncomfortable. He insisted. It's like, "Don't sit by yourself. Come on, you're fine. You're fine. Sit right here." And I'm like, oh. He's a young, handsome man. Nobody ever tells him no, and he's going to be persistent with his friendliness. His head would explode if somebody in his perfect world ever said no to him. So I went and sat next to him. I was like, "Hey, hi to the family. How is everybody doing?" And I was like, I have got to get over this. But he has no idea how difficult that was for me. It distracted me from the movie. It was a bad movie anyway, but I laughed at parts. But it was very distracting. We didn't, interact for the rest of the movie. But I was just like, why did you feel... Oh, I'm telling you, Canadians are so friendly. I like what Jim Carrey says. Of course they're friendly. They have health care. They have a reason to be happy and healthy. So in other news... I want to hear from you. Are you weirded out when people get in your space? I've changed a lot. I mean, when you live in LA, you get used to people hugging you, and I'm still awkward with that, but I do it when it feels right, and more and more it does. So have you had mango and cilantro? No? You've never had this combination? Well, I'm sure you think you've led a full life then, but it's good. It's so good. And I know some people think cilantro tastes like soap, and some people think it tastes delicious. Again, I think it tastes like delicious soap, and I crave it so frequently. Must be part of, my vitamins and stuff. But combining it with mangoes, the fickle pickle that is mangoes. Mangoes, they're like, well, one day they're not ripe, the next day they're rotten. That could happen. Life is like a box of mangoes. You never know what you're going to get. I'm going to open this up because I think it's sat long enough. I have not a lot of patience when I want a mango. Oh my gosh. I'm going to take this before a walk. I'm upping the exercise this week. I really want to increase that. But yeah, I'm going to have some. Oh, it looks really good. So far, so good. But sometimes I'll chop it up beforehand and I'll put it in a bowl. In this case, I just grabbed it on the go. And I'll just combine the two. I have a mukbang. I swear it's like a shot of B12. It is so good. Infused with goodness. Fragrant. Delicious. I'll have to tell you guys who my flight buddy is going to be. Maybe they'll agree to be on my vlog. I hope it's someone nice and talkative. If not, that's fine too. As long as they don't smell. As long as they're not 500 pounds. But actually, if they are, I won't be mean to them, of course. I'll just sit like this. Well, they're so good. So how's everybody else's week going? How are you doing with your patience, your energy? I'm pretty energetic, but it comes and goes. Like I have good days and bad days. The last few days, last week I really felt like I was coming down with a cold. And then it threatens to come back. And then I have my spicy soup and I get some sleep and I feel better. So that's an important thing. Staying on top of it, just having healthy foods. I'm at the point now in terms of cravings. I don't crave anything bad for me. Once in a while, maybe. But like Pat and Zach can get stuff and put it right under my nose, like funny bones and things that I would normally want to eat or would eat when I'm eating crap. I'd much rather have a mango because that food makes me feel sick. So it's kind of like I'm lucky that I have an aversion. I'm older now. I don't have as much of an appetite, and I have an aversion to crap food because of how sick it makes me feel. It is the thing that keeps me the most on track is knowing that that number is life-saving to me. You know, it's, you really put it in perspective when you think, I want my clothes to fit better, I want to look better. Yes, I want all of those things. Not because I want to stand out, but because I want to blend in. I'm tired of standing out for being fat, and I'm tired of the way people treat me for being fat. It's pretty bad, and by the way, I think I've told you they've done studies on that. So, yeah, I want to blend in, but mostly I want to live. I want to lose all this weight to live. It would be ideal if I could get down to 120, but that might be a little thin for me. I haven't been 120 since, gosh, who was president? Carter? It's been a long time. I don't remember what administration it was. I think the bicentennial was the last time I weighed 120. Well, I was in my sister's wedding party 100 years ago, and I was a size 7. And I loved the way I looked in clothes. Girls at school, the popular girls would be like, I wish I looked like you in my jeans. And I was like, dang, I do have a good figure. I had like a Jessica Rabbit figure. And boy, time is cruel. And you know, being so addicted to sugar. I went down the aisle. I remember that we went down the cereal aisle the other day. And I remember in school, a nun telling my mother, well, Kerry is very in La La Land. She looks out the window. She's distracted. Well, yeah, my dad just died, and they give me 5 pounds of sugar before school. You try to focus on that much sugar. Jeebus. So stupid. And they still do it. They put kids on tons of sugar in their diet, and then put them on Ritalin, because they can't focus and they can't sit still. We are a mess. We really are. Oh my God. I highly recommend mango. By the way, I'm wearing the Mitchell & Me palette on my eyeballs. And I went to Sephora yesterday. Let's talk makeup. And I had the nicest girl. I'm going to link her Instagram below. Tatiana was a sweetheart. She helped me put on lashes. It's not my strong suit, but I actually learned I'm not that bad at it. I'm just not used to wearing them. I can put them on, and I've gotten better at it. There's a learning curve, but she helped me find my thing. I'm going to put this on my other channel too. Smashbox Studio. What we did was we put Fenty on one side, and then we put Smashbox on the other, and I let it bake a little bit, and I walked around. And they're both, you know, like a lot of stuff, they're water-based. So, you know, don't tell me it's hydrating when it's water-based, but here's how you can work with it, because it becomes buildable. I just have to be really good to exfoliate, moisturize. I put on a lot of primer. I'm not sure it matters which kind, but I mixed Tarte primer, and I used, first I freshened my face with some of this pH balancing 5.5. Let that sit. I really primed. I used a little bit of my other primer. Where'd you go? Making a fool of me. My Lorac around my eyes, I put that primer on. I just really let it sit in and make sure that I'm moisturizing a lot. And then I built this as needed. And what I like about this is, because the Fenty I like too, but as soon as it was on for a little while, I saw pores on my face where I never see pores. It was not forgiving, but here's the thing. It was a nice foundation. I really should have applied a primer and blown it out. I'm going to give that stuff another chance, because there's the makeup you wear on camera, and then there's everyday wear. And that is ultimately why I chose Smashbox. I'm Pumpkin Puss. I chose Smashbox because this Studio Skin 24-hour wear hydrating fond de teint hydratant is oil-free, non-grease, and it's good for I have a dry T-zone, but also it's something that can transition from filming to everyday wear. I can go to Kroger after I film and not look like I'm wearing so much makeup, which tends to happen when you have to film and so much of what you wear doesn't read. She also gave me beautiful eyelashes, and I was really excited to put them on today and show everybody my eyelashes that I bought. I think I bought the middle of the road ones, the $14 ones, and the problem was when I got home, they're not here. It's the Sephora Collection Hipster number 20 full volume lash. So pretty, but when I went to put them on today, my mascara glue was completely dried out, and I have another one and I can't find it. Might be in my makeup bag that I pack for the car, because I had one in the car for when I went to Cleveland, but I'm really bummed. You know, I usually organize my stuff really well, and I've been losing stuff. Last night I remembered it was my brother's birthday yesterday. I'm like, I've got to call him, and then I saw something shiny the next minute and didn't call him. And I remembered it at 11 o'clock night, but he's 3 hours behind. But I did find my brow bar to go, my Gerard Cosmetics brow bar that I'm in love with, and the Mitchell and Me palette I'm wearing, Maine, Modest, and Minty, and I just realized they all have M's. I only realized that now. So that's very topical for my Ready for Shady Pines conversation. Really love the Mitchell and Me palette, and I'm playing with fall colors and colors I wouldn't normally wear. I may actually, a lot of people know I don't like yellow. I think all yellow eyeshadow should be gathered up and thrown in an active volcano, but I might actually play with the yellows for this fall and try it. It'll look bad, I think, because I just don't like yellow on people. So I thank you so much for joining me. Again, it's impossible for me to keep these videos short. I just enjoy the kind of small group and the chit chat on this channel. So let me know how you're doing. How's your energy? How's your sleep? Are you staying hydrated? Are you, eating something yummy but healthy for you? Basically, you want to eat stuff your body's going to use, right? If we follow these rules, if we just stick to that, our clothes will start growing. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, bye-bye.